Hello, online crew. How's everyone going? So we're going to talk about Facebook advertising. How do you feel about Facebook advertising? Should we be advertising on Facebook, on an ongoing basis, or is it just too freaking hard? Let me know your thoughts around Facebook advertising, because we're going to have a little bit of a chat about that today. It's certainly not something you have to do. Some of you may choose to just grow on social media completely 100% organic, and I do a lot of training on organic growth as well. But it is something in the mix. It is something that gives you the opportunity to find your perfect prospects. It is also an opportunity for you to speed things up online. So I'm curious to know, how many of you are advertising? How many of you aren't? Let me know. I'd also be curious to know how many of you would like to be, but you're too scared because a lot of people get shut down, or that you're currently dabbling in it, but you don't really know what you're doing. Just share with me where you're at with Facebook advertising, because when it works, it's awesome. But for a lot of people, it doesn't work. And there are reasons for that, which I'll get into in this video. And I'm just going to share with you three basic things that, you just should have in place. So regardless of your sort of experience, or whether you've even gone there or not with Facebook advertising, these three things are things that should be on your radar and put into place, particularly if you want to do sort of Facebook advertising. So we'll have a chat about that. So how is everybody today? If we haven't met before, my name is Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain. This is just a little bit of fun here. For those of you that are live with me, that are normally live with me, thank you for adjusting to the time. I'm an hour and a half earlier than I normally am on my lives, because I'm hosting a webinar all to do with Facebook ads, funnily enough, in just less than 30 minutes time. So when I host these webinars, then I do have to change the time of my live. So thank you to those of you that are live that have adjusted to that time frame. You guys on the replay, none the wiser. It's all good, but great to see you guys here live. So my name's Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain, and we've got entrepreneurs, home-based business owners, network marketers, MLM, digital marketers, all of the above here. And what we learn to do here is use modern online strategies to build our business online. Part of that equation is learning how to attract people to you. So if you want to, a choice in that can be to do Facebook advertising once you've got some certain things in place. So I'll share with you in a moment where a lot of people go wrong with it and some of the things that you need to look out for. But I have got a training next week that's going to go dive a lot deeper into this with the latest information. This is not something that you learn once and you just know everything about it. This changes all the time. It's very annoying, bit like Facebook or just social media in general. It's very fast. Would you not agree that social media is very fast moving? If you jump out for too long, your followers will go elsewhere. If you don't give value for a while, your engagement might drop off. It's just one of those things that you've got to keep working at. And if you choose to do Facebook advertising, it's one of those things that you have to have a very high skill level of. Even those of you that aren't advertising, I would encourage you to keep your eyes and ears open to the opportunities that it can give you, even if you know nothing about it. And when I share with you these three things in this video regarding sort of things that you might want to put in place, that will give you a good head start in just protecting yourself. Because we need to do a number of things in order to not get us shut down. And the main reason for that, guys? If you're here on this page listening to me, you're probably an entrepreneur, home-based business owner, because that's, who's hanging out here in our crew. And that means when it comes to Facebook advertising, you've already got obstacles. Facebook does not like money-making opportunities, whatever they are, in Facebook advertising. So our back is already against the wall with the industry that we are in. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, because if you're not aware of that and you just have no skills with Facebook advertising and you just go and advertise something, then you are very naive and you're putting yourself straight in the firing line. So just know that it is against Facebook's policies and procedures and, you know, all their conditions and things like that to advertise anything to do with MLM, money-making opportunities. You can't make exaggerated claims. There are so many things we can't do. And majority of people that are doing Facebook advertising haven't even read Facebook's policies to know what's right, what's wrong. They've just heard that, yeah, it's difficult to advertise. But I'll get into more of that in a minute. Let's just say hello to a few people. Hello, Heather. How are you? One of our VIPs. Good to see you on. Hello, Gloria, life member. Hello, Cynthia. How are you? -2 this morning and all the pipes and hoses are frozen. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, winter in Australia. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Crystal's a life member. Good to see you on. Fantabulous day. Thank you. I am so far, but it's only just started for me. But all is well. Hello, Heather. Great to see you on. But Charlene, Susan, Christine, Heather. Blue is your color, Helen Martin. You look beautiful today as always. Oh, thank you. I'll remember that. I like, just a side note, I don't know if you guys have ever picked this up, but I've got I don't know if you can see it, but I've got really hazel colored eyes that have green in it. So when I wear green, my eyes go greener. So yeah, look out for that. When I wear green, my eyes change color. It's really weird. So blue may, you know, thank you. Anyway, Heather. Hello, Emma. How are you? Facebook advertising seems a bit tough. I've tried and now working on seasoning my pixel. That's a valid thing. And some of you that don't know much about Facebook advertising, don't worry about words like pixel sort of yet. But that is something that you would learn about somewhere along the line if you got more into Facebook advertising, because we've got to put this thing on it called a pixel, and that tracks who becomes leads, and then Facebook knows what to do with our ads. The more seasoned our pixel, like Heather has just mentioned, the more Facebook knows what to do with your ads. So there's a whole method to how that, you know, all works. Hello, Steph. Good to see you on. We got Michael here as well. I can't remember what I asked you. I am doing Facebook advertising. That's it. I'm not doing advertising currently, but want to start back up. Okay. I'm advertising a lights campaign, working on my traffic ad. Great. That's a great strategy to start with. Haven't got there yet. I've tried a boost a couple of times. Now, boost is one of those things that Facebook puts right in front of your face. So if you've got a business page and you've got content going up, Facebook puts this little blue button in front of you saying, boost me. Do you want to boost this post? And then they'll even send notifications to you saying, this post is doing so much better than every other post. You've got much more engagement. Would you like to boost it? So Boostbook. There's a new one for the dictionary. I meant to say Facebook, but I said Boostbook. There you go. Facebook puts that right in front of your face, and it's tempting. So a lot of people push the button and say, oh, what does this do? Oh, yeah, I can sort of follow that, and I can do that, and I can put a few dollars to it, and then you put it in for review, and then you shut down because you know nothing about Facebook advertising. So boosting posts is good when you know what you're doing. If somebody says to you, stay away from boosted posts, they're bad, they are not bad. They're actually awesome when you know how to use them in the right way. So boosted posts are a good thing when you know what you're doing. Just don't push the button if you don't know what you're doing yet. That's my warning around that. A bit leery now because I've spent a significant amount of money and no winning ad yet. Still trying that. So Facebook advertising is a massive skill. It's not something that any of you should expect to just start doing. You set up an ads account and, a business manager, and you start doing things, you put an ad up. For you to expect that to work when you've got very, very little training, you've got the blinders on. Facebook advertising is something you need to get training on, guys, and a lot of it, and up-to-date information. That's why I'm revisiting it next week in my coaching community. If you want to join us for that training, there's a link up above that you can join our coaching community. Now, that link is for new members. If you've been a member of my coaching community before, you need to reach out to me for a different link. That's for new members only up above. existing coaching community members, that training's already included for you guys. But it's something that you need to get a lot of training on so you know what you're doing. So I'll get into more of that in a minute. You're racing me today. So I'm earlier. Yes, I've been wanting to dive into Facebook advertising. I haven't tried it yet due to fear and cost. I would love to start doing it though. So you'll love the training next week, Crystal, because there's the training next week is going to be for those of you that have, for beginners or seasoned advertisers. So those of you that have been advertising regularly, I'm going to cover bits and pieces. Already in my coaching community, which you can get access to now, I've got a basic Facebook advertising bootcamp and I've got an advanced. So ideally, anyone that wants to join us next week would jump into the coaching community and watch both of those trainings, whether it makes sense or not, before we do the one next week. But it's not necessary. So I'm going to give strategies for somebody like you, Crystal, that's never delved there before. You're fearful of the cost and you're fearful of getting shut down as to what you're going to say. So I'll give you strategies that are going to be minimal cost and protect you from getting shut down, depending on what you're advertising, because each one of you is going to be different. So we do need to have that discussion about what it is you want to advertise first, because either it'll be just, you can't go there, think of something else to advertise. So we can talk about all that. I hope you're all doing well. Good morning, Judy and Bob. I get a lot more leads when I have ads running. If it is being set up correct way, and I analyze my metrics and adjust accordingly. So you're just learning the skill of Facebook advertising. So Susan knows how to get the leads because she's learned the skill. And this is where you speed up the process. Hey, Clarita, good to see you on. And you can get more leads is when you do advertising. You just got to know how to do it. I'm concerned about getting shut down, partly because I don't have a backup admin person. Michael, you need to find somebody in your life to be a backup admin person. This is number 1 of 3 that I'm getting into in this training. I mentioned to you guys just last week, and I've mentioned it many, many times. Never, ever, 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 anywhere on your Facebook be the only admin. If you've got a business page, even if you've got a group, never, ever, ever be the only admin. So find someone, Michael, find a trusted source, find a family member who's on Facebook that is just willing to be there for you. Surely you've got a family member or a really good friend on Facebook that could, be a backup admin person for you. But that's number 1 rule, guys. Never, ever, ever be the only admin, because if something goes wrong and you get shut down, then you're stuffed if you can't get into your own stuff. So you need a second admin to be able to get in if something goes wrong. Okay. Hey, Janet, how are you? Nolly, how are you? I'm advertising on Facebook, and one thing I don't like is their customer service. They're so fast in shutting you down, but they take ages in responding to your appeals, and that's something we can't fix, unfortunately, Nolly. Facebook is renowned for not telling you exactly what's wrong, taking a very long time for appeals. It's got worse during COVID because they just sent a whole lot of Facebook employees home and just stopped them working. So we're still in that situation. So you're quite right, Nolly, but it's not something we can change, unfortunately. So we have to learn to live with what we've got. But things that you do will help that process or hinder that process. So one of the reasons that a lot of people get shut down permanently or on an ongoing basis is you don't know how to handle the appeals process. You've got the wrong words that you say. I've got template wording in my advanced advertising bootcamp, but I've got new wording for you guys. So the purpose of the bootcamp next week is to give you new, updated information. It doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to help you never get shut down again. Depends what you're doing. But I can give you little strategies and tips and newer wording and newer things to watch out for to try to prevent you from getting shut down. I don't use ads on Facebook, Sharon. That's completely okay. Some people want to grow 100% organic, and I support that as well. It can just speed up the process when you know what you're doing, but it's not wrong to not advertise. It depends on your journey, but you can speed things up a little bit and get more leads when you do Facebook advertising. Now that I'm going live every day, I'm having way more engagement from new people, and that is so important when you do Facebook ads. That'll be one of my 3 in a minute. I'm getting there. Also got to watch the time because the webinar that I'm hosting just started doing ads, but I'm not that good at it for sure. And none of you should ever have the expectation of putting one ad up and it's going to be a winner, or you put an ad up and it's like, I didn't get any leads, and you get so disappointed. It's like, okay, how much knowledge do you have around Facebook ads? How many ads have you run? It's just impossible. Well, it's not impossible. Some people can just put up a winning ad, but it's very, very, very rare. It's like practice. It's like Facebook Lives. You don't start doing Facebook Lives and you are the most amazing person on Facebook Lives and everybody loves you and they're telling all their friends about you and you've got all this interaction engagement and your business just takes off because you're amazing. You got to work at it. Facebook advertising is no different. It's absolutely no different. It's a skill that you've got to learn and practice. What hurts, though, is it costs money. So you can practice Facebook Lives and it doesn't cost you anything. But practicing Facebook ads costs you money. And that's where people get hurt and disappointed and upset and frustrated. And then they stop advertising because nothing worked, but they never really gave it long enough to learn the skill anyway. Hey Megan, how are you? Sharon is here, which is awesome. Hang on. Hey Gidel, you give value as always, not just trying to be cute. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's 95 degrees Fahrenheit here. Woo, hot. We don't have aircon in our house. Wow, I'm sure you're in very light clothing right about now, Crystal. Hey, Marcella, how are you? I'm the same, Helen. I have hazel, green, blue eyes, and my eyes change color depending on what I wear. It confuses people. It does. I kind of hazel eyes as well, depending on what I'm wearing. Yeah, so hazel eyes are really cool, actually. I've boosted twice. Both were lives. One was very successful and the other one not so much. So you've given it a go, you've tried and you're not got shut down. So that's a good thing. Hey, Cindy, how are you? We got Edith as well. Feel for your air conditioning broke down in a heat wave and it wasn't fun. Yes, super excited for the Facebook advertising bootcamp. Awesome. 91 degrees in a house. Whew. I love the 2 advertising boot camps you have in the coaching crew. Good. So this is going to be building on that, Heather. When my ad was rejected, I found them to be really helpful. They were quick and fixed the issue. But remember what happened in that process, Megan. You didn't know what to do. You sent me a message. I guided you to do something. You followed that action and it turned it into a good result. So you can, depending what you guys do, you can either follow the path that is going to get you no result, or you can follow a path. I told you to do something, you found it, you actioned that, you got to speak to a person and it got resolved and you were back up and running in no time. So it depends on what you guys do. Most of you panic, send a rude message to Facebook. You only ever end up with bots and you never end up with a positive result when you end up just talking to a bot. So there are ways and means around how to deal with getting ads shut down and things like that. It can be disappointing. You expect results as soon as possible. That's where most people go wrong. It's a skill. Hey, Amy, how are you? So true. Okay, I've got to speed this up a little bit. If we had a bricks and mortar business, we would have to advertise in some way. Online is no different. Hooray. Very well said, Megan. Traditional bricks and mortar business have to advertise in some way. Do you remember, it's probably an Australian thing, the yellow pages, like the big thick book like books that you used to look up businesses, like everything's online now. It's just a form of advertising your business. It's just a skill. So there can be triggers, many different triggers. That could be your wording. So you need to learn about ad copy. It could be where you're sending people to. So it could be what's on the other side of the ad. If you're doing a full blown sort of like traffic ad or conversion ad or something like that, where are you sending them to? So if that's just a landing page, odds are against you. If that landing page talks about a money-making opportunity, you've just increased the risk for yourself. So there's lots of things that we need to, watch out for. Other things that ads don't work, audiences, targeting. Who do you put your ad in front of? What is the size of the audience? What, where do you put them? Do you put them in stories? Do you put them in Instagram? Do you put them just in the news feed? Do you put them in the right-hand column? Your actual targeting of your ad set Like, how much knowledge do you have around that? That will be a big indicator of whether you have a successful ad or not. Are you aware of all the words that Facebook doesn't like? Asking a question is a trigger. Using the word you is a trigger. Using the word your is a trigger. Facebook does not like us calling people out. Facebook doesn't like us asking questions of people in our ad copy. So there's all sorts of things that you guys need to be aware of and up with, because their policies change all the time. So you need to look at this kind of information and be very aware of this information all the time. So if you're doing Facebook advertising, you have a massive responsibility as the advertiser to know what you are doing. Otherwise, this is going to sound really harsh, but you deserve to be shut down, because you have a responsibility to know what you're doing before you put an ad up. So get the right training, guys, because so many people are getting shut down because they're doing Facebook ads when they really don't know what they're doing. So do some sort, whether it's mine or not, do some sort of training regarding Facebook advertising. So the 3 things. So this is just basic stuff. I'm going to go into way more detail. You'll see the information above on the link of it. So click the link above in the description and you'll see all the bubbles on the graphic of all the topics that I'm going to go through. Okay. So those of you in my coaching community, you're already covered for next week. So second admin, I've already mentioned that. Absolute must. Somebody, husband, wife, child that's over 18, auntie, uncle, somebody that's on Facebook that is happy to be a second admin for you. And don't just keep that to a page. Even if you've got groups, everywhere you're hanging out on Facebook, have a second admin. Second thing, if you know you're going to be advertising, before you ever do things, or even those of you that are regular advertisers and you have never been shut down before, each personal profile is able to open 2 business managers. So just go and open them, guys. Just even if you're not advertising yet. So just look into that or hang out for the training sort of next week. It's already in my training, actually. I'm not sure whether it's the basic or the advanced one. But every personal profile is allowed to have 2 business managers. So if you're advertising, you should be advertising through a business manager account, and you have your Facebook account inside your business manager. So each person is allowed to have 2 business managers. So you've got one that you might be advertising on. Go and open up your second one and just let it sit there. So if one business manager gets shut down, okay, no problem. We're just going to hang out over here and start again. Okay, very hard to try and do things after you've been shut down. So whatever you can do to open things up and create things that's legal within Facebook's guidelines and policies and procedures and all that kind of stuff. So you are allowed to have 2 business managers. So if you're up and running and you're doing Facebook ads, but you only have the 1 business manager, go and do yourself a favor and open up a second business manager. Okay, that's number 2. That is a protection measure if you're not already got problems. Okay, third one. Do not underestimate the power of what you are doing on a business page with your branding, Facebook Lives, and giving value. The biggest thing for Facebook is that you're a real person with a real business. Now, the big problem that we're running into, and this is going to get worse, is that most people in this industry, you're not running your own business. You don't have any documentation to prove that it's your own business. You're not an actual approved business through the government, that kind of thing. So your business page that you are advertising from, you can't advertise unless you've got a business page. So those of you that are really raw to this and only have a personal profile in a group, just be aware that you can't advertise unless you've got, you need a business page to advertise from. Okay. You need to look like you are a real person giving real value with something. So if you've got a business page and all it says is freedom, live the life of your dreams, that's your branding on your business page, how can you justify to Facebook that you're a real business giving real value on a particular topic and you've got fans and followers that are following you for some kind of training or value that you're giving? So this is where a lot of people do get caught short as well, is what you're doing in your business page or lack of, or your branding message. This is why we've just started the branding course for the next 3 weeks. We started yesterday. If you need to jump on that, go to my website, helenmartinonline.com, and you can join from there. It's still open. You can catch up. We're there for 3 weeks. But you need to have an established brand giving out training and value in something. So what's your something, guys? Otherwise, how do you justify that you've got a real business? Because at the end of the day, Facebook doesn't like this industry where we're leading to money-making opportunities. So those of you, anyone listening that's got a bricks and mortar business and it's your business, different story. It's your business. You've got a legitimate business. You're selling your own thing. You've probably created your own thing. But those of you in a business model where you did not create it, you don't own it, you don't make the decisions for it, it's somebody else's, and it's like network marketing, type business model, even those with you digital sort of online marketing, but it's not yours that you created. Facebook doesn't like us. So you need to have a great business page with great content, with a proper brand behind it of what you're teaching people. Otherwise, when Facebook goes investigates you, you got something shut down, you've asked to be reviewed, you actually got to talk to a human being, and they look at you and go, what are you doing here? It's like, that's a money-making opportunity. We don't support that. You're gone. So the whole branding piece is so, 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 so important for people in this industry. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. If you want help in this area, join us next week in our coaching community. You can join, new members can join for $1 for a 3-day trial. Get in there. Watch the basic Facebook advertising bootcamp. Watch the advanced Facebook advertising bootcamps that I've already done. Hundreds and thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of training in that coaching community that you can get for such a minimal cost. If you're doing Facebook advertising and you're not investing in any kind of training whatsoever, then you're probably headed for shutdown somewhere along the line. So really, 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 really important to up your skill if you are one of these people that's advertising on Facebook. You've got a responsibility to do that. And you want to, guys, because you don't want to throw money down the toilet. And essentially that's what you're going to be doing at the end of the day. If you do Facebook advertising and you don't know what you're doing, it's like flushing money down a toilet. And I'm sure none of you want to do that. I'm sure the dollars that you put in, you're actually striving for the return. But unless you've got the skill level to make that happen and be willing to invest in making that happen, then you could be wasting hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on Facebook advertising just because you haven't got the right skills to put the right type of ads together. Or you just turn them off when they could have been a winner, but you don't know how to read your metrics. You don't understand what you're looking at. You don't know what numbers to concentrate on to know whether it's working or not. It's like, no, that's tracking really well. Don't turn that off. Or you've had this running for 3 months and those are your metrics. You should have shut this off a month ago. Do you even know how to read the information that's in front of you? That's important, just as important as putting the ad together itself. Anyway, I've had my little rant. I've got 2 minutes before I'm hosting a webinar reviewing a whole lot of Facebook ads. So I got to go and do that. I will be back normal time tomorrow, guys, to talk to you live here. Those of you that want to learn more about Facebook advertising, whether you're a beginner or you're already a seasoned advertiser, click the link above and have a look at the bubbles in the graphic of what I'm going to be running through next week. Okay, so I'll leave that with you and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.